Hi, it's Mr. Skelton, and I wanted to give a quick explanation and maybe a little sales pitch, so to speak, for the summer lesson program, the music program that the district runs through the summer. It's great that we have this that goes on every year because not every district offers such a thing. So it's very important for your child to keep their skills up over the summer, and I know it's hard to be motivated to do that if there's not a reason to practice. So having lessons, fairly regular lessons, is definitely going to do that. So let me just tell you a little bit about what makes it different from lessons that you get during the year, because I think it's significant. First of all, the program is for 5 lessons, and those lessons they could be half an hour long, they could be 45 minutes long, they could be an hour long, depending on what you want to do. For beginners, certainly a half hour is sufficient, and as people get more advanced, they need maybe a little bit more time. And those lessons are done one lesson per week, running from about the second week of July to the second week of August. And the thing about the scheduling is it's done directly between me and you. So any going away for a week, any day that, we can't do this particular time, if you give me sufficient notice, and I can usually find an alternative for you. And usually, people have their summer plans so well that we can sort of predict when those things are going to happen. If you miss a lesson just by forgetting, that's one thing. But when things come up, and when we know that they're happening ahead of time, then we can certainly be. I can be very flexible, and in fact, all the teachers within the program across the district operate this way. So there are string lessons and there are band lessons. Now, obviously, I'm primarily giving string lessons, mostly for Rowayton students. There are some students I get from other schools, depending on what other teachers are available. So, for example, I typically also do any Brookside students. I would do sometimes Columbus students. It depends who's around. And we have about 3 or 4 string teachers. We have about 3 or 4 band teachers. If you are playing a band instrument, either in addition to strings or just on its own, then you could have 2 different teachers. You could have me for both. It's up to you. What works with your schedule, and where you want to go with that. The important thing is just to at least consider doing it. Now, there is a fee for it, and your child got sent a page home about that. And I'm going to put that up on the screen here in a moment. I just want to go over the first page so we can sort of partially read through together. So here's the first page. One of the main things here is that the lessons are offered at the following schools: West Rocks, Rowton, Cranberry, Merrimack, Columbus, Magnet. Now, those are the schools that I know that we have teachers available. And some are band teachers, some are string teachers, some do both. But I will put you, when you sign up, I'll put you in touch with the appropriate person. They're done between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. Now, that doesn't mean you're there the whole day. It just means that within that time frame is typically when those lessons are given. Sometimes I know that I go usually a little bit later than that also. Also, I've given lessons before 8 o'clock too, because I know that some people have day camps that they're going to be going to, and they might need a 7:30 lesson. Now, I don't have a lot of those available for myself, but it's between. It's dependent on really first come first serve. It will be at some point Monday through Friday. So in other words, there are no weekend lessons. And I can say for myself that I usually pick 2 days during the summer. And they tend to be both midweek days, like either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Thursday. I haven't specifically chosen which 2 days yet, but I want to see what the response is. And those 5 lessons are given between July 8th and August 9th. Now, one of the things that obviously ends up happening is people can think like, well, I'd like to do it, but I can only do 4 lessons. I can only make it to 4 of those weeks. Well, again, if you arrange that ahead of time, we can work with that. For myself, I know that sometimes I'll just I'll add that time on to other lessons. So maybe if you paid for half-hour lessons, I might give you a 40-minute lesson, or give your child a 40-minute lesson, 3 times, so that it makes up for that missing half hour, without making the lesson super super long, and then you get everything you paid for. I can also say for myself, and I can't speak for any other teachers in the program doing it, but any lessons that are left over, if you're a Rowayton student, or going to Rowton, since I'll see you in the fall, I can give you lessons in the fall. I can make up those lessons in the fall. So sometimes people will just sort of bank those. They know that they'll maybe only get a couple during the summer, and they want to take the rest of them in the fall, kind of get them going, get the skills back up, like kind of a little boot camp kind of thing in late August or early September. So again, there's a lot of flexibility there. The real question is, do you see the value in it? And I hope you do. There is a payment for it. We'll go through that in a moment. And when you feel like you are ready to commit to it, you want to sign up for it, the page it's going to come to me. So if you're at Rowayton, it can just be handed to me, or brought in and put in my mailbox, or similarly for if anyone ends up going to Rowton for any reason. So let's turn to the second page. We have basic contact information at the top, and just to kind of have an idea of who is where. One of the most important things there is, do you have any special requirements for scheduling? So this is the time to say, well, I can only do Tuesdays. I can only do 8:30, or it has to be before 8:30, or it has to be after 2 o'clock. And again, those are limited, but and subject to availability. But we do everything we can to try to make sure that those requests can get on it, because we'd rather have you part of the program than not. And when you're selecting an instrument, you're selecting the one that you are currently studying, if one or ones. Some people are studying more than one. And if you are studying more than one, we recommend that you have 2 separate lessons for that. It's a lot easier to keep skills up. But if that kind of stretches things a little bit, then certainly working if it's with the same teacher, that's the most important thing. It has to be with the same teacher. So either 2 stringed instruments or 2 band instruments, or if it is, like in the case of myself, a teacher that is doing both or is available to do both, then you can certainly alternate from week to week. But no piano lessons, no guitar lessons. Only things that are typically played in the band program or in the orchestra program. Coming down to program options, there's 3 columns here. One is for 30-minute lessons, one for 45, one for hour. And the base price for each is what's here at the top, $165, and that's the total for all 5 lessons. $233 is the total for all 45-minute lessons, and $290 is the total for all 5 hour-long lessons. If you do the math on that, then you see that the hour-long is actually paying less per minute. So it's a little bit better deal. So if you have more than one child involved in this, and you're looking like, well, it's going to be a lot of money. I don't want to pay, $330, for half-hour lessons for both. Well, guess what? You just sign up for hour-long, because 2 half hours equals an hour. So it's kind of like getting a little discount there, right? So if you are, it's all we're concerned about is the total amount of time that you're going to need. So if you need 10 half hours, to us, time is the same as 5 hours, right? So you can save a little money there. And also, if you register early, we have an early bird price, May 1st. If you get everything in, form and payment in by May 1st, then you can save a little bit more money, which, we want people to save money. We don't want this to break the bank, but we also want to encourage people to sign up early too. So that's why that's there. And also, after June 12th, once we get past the end of the year, then we put a late fee on, because it takes a little bit more effort usually to collect forms and to contact people. And we don't really want people waiting to the last minute if we can help it. So if if you happen to fall in that category, that's fine. We'll try to fit you in. But still, we have a little late fee for that. Um, this is it is part of the summer program for the district, but it's not paid for through it. So when it says don't send it with the PF camp, um, it's going to come to me. I'm the coordinator of it for the district, but it is an official district program. So I hope you will consider signing your child up, or if you have more than one child, signing all of them up. And if you have questions, again, my email address is below, and I look forward to seeing people over the summer, because we really get I can't stress this enough, we get a lot done over the summer. We continue with, I know for my own program, we continue on with everything we've been doing during the year, and then getting ready for the next year. And it's a really good transition from one year to the next. So thank you very much.